Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Nemesis Gaming League, where the grind continues. And it is time for this game day 16. Oh my gosh, Rocker Man, we're almost done. Obviously, joining me in the booth is the GOAT himself. Also, shout out to the GOAT in chat, Jax. Thank you for the gifted sub. You're awesome. Pretty dope. You say banger, I say I'm gonna be really biased here. And Melons, they're my team, so I got them. I got them crushing. Get it? But sadly they are missing Gallium tonight, so obviously that's a huge hit. He's been kind of that we got him like right at the trade deadline. That was the guy really boosted our team, Rocker Man, and so missing him tonight gonna hurt a little bit. But I got faith in my other boys, so hopefully they're able to pull through. Because like you said, this is a very important divisional game because this division is between the Melons and the Minotaurs. They're one game apart. The Melons swept to the Minotaurs earlier in the season, so the Minotaurs really need a sweep right now to tie up the game record as well as their what's the word their season record. So this is the Minotaurs need a sweep. That's what they're looking for, Rocker Man. But if Melons can win one game, that'll be huge. Rocker Man, I think you're muted.
Hey, you know what? That would be
That's to
that that
him.
that would be great. That would be great if I could be unmuted. Thank you, Flip. Thank you, Flip. That's like that one meme from seasons ago. It's the Rocker Man dinner date IRL, that merely clipped. But yeah, you know what? Hey, this is what happens when you take some time off. You get washed. And anyways, I don't even remember what I was saying before Flip, but long story short, big divisional matchup here.
Yes,
Winner
sir.
of this one, the Minotaurs trying to get that 3-0 sweep. If there's anyone to root for a 3-0 sweep, it'd be Minotaurs fans here trying to get that the head-to-head record all tied up there. And like we mentioned, a big week with only 3 matches left in the regular season. So a lot at stake between these two teams battling for that Atlantic Division title. And we're gonna have to see what who's gonna come out with the firepower.
Yep, who will indeed. I said this earlier. I'm gonna be a little biased, just for the prediction. I think Melons are gonna win this one 3-1. But in the end, I just want to see some good gameplay. Obviously, Melons they're missing Gallium, so it's gonna be a little bit tougher. So we're gonna see if Tragic Upset, who honestly is a very solid player, also our AGM can step up. This is the time as he gets a nice little air dribble there. As now Tamil gonna look for the pass. Maybe has one more touch in him. AdTySo is gonna get that block, and AdTySo, he's been kind of the biggest player. Him and Kaz, and it's gonna be Postman though being the big player here as Melons get the first one on the board. Only 20 seconds in. This is just a great play by Postman.
Yeah, no, Postman just gonna get it over top of the defense there, starting out strong. And from my understanding, Postman is that sub at the moment, kind of filling in for Gallium. So a lot of eyes on Postman to see what they're able to do to step up. I'm not sure if it's Postman or if it's Tragic, but I'm assuming it's Postman there. That's a sub. So either way, trying to fill that hole that Gallium, Gallium is leaving there. And what a way to start things off here for the Melons.
Yeah, now we got to see if they can continue as Tragic trying to get this ball cleared. Kaz not going to get a touch there as Tragic doesn't have a lot of boost. Tries to get the flick over one. AdTySo gets that nice touch, but a great touch there from Tamil, who playing without his duo. Him and Gallium, they really wanted the team. That was one of the biggest reasons Gallium really wanted to come to this roster. So Tamil, he has that star power. Postman, though, he's showing why he should be a starter, even if he is on the bench. That one gonna get sent away, but Tragic is gonna get right back on it. Wow, a 1-2 play here. It was a great pass from Postman, and Tragic was able to follow it with a nice shot.
Yeah, that one just going off the backboard. The Minotaurs not quite ready to jump up for that one. Just looking a little bit slow here to start things out in game number 1. And the Melons, they've had some really good offense. 2 goals already in the first minute. Very solid start for them.
Yeah, Minotaurs gonna try to get one back early as Big Guth is gonna get that one. Former Melons player, so you know what, Rocker Man, if you look at it like that, Melons have scored all 3 goals so far.
Hey, you know what? We can make that correlation. We'll allow it here, as he's gonna put that one in the back of the net. But playing for a different org this time around and gonna put it in. And Big Guth, he is definitely one of those players to watch on the Minotaurs here. Everyone talks about AdTySo, but Big Guth, he's trying to get up to that one, not quite. Tragic puts another one back in the net, and 3 goals already here.
This is just a really good shot from Tragic, generating enough power to get that one past Big Guth, who is racing back. Doesn't have a lot of boost, obviously, but really good immediate answer by the Melons. Now, I gotta say, Rockerman, we've had 4 goals. It's only been a minute and 10 seconds. We are, on pace for a lot of goals here. See if Tragic is going to get another one. Tragic has been lighting up the net so far. Postman as well, doing a great job. Trying to get the pass over to Tamil. Going to take a nice control touch. Get another one past Guth. But this could be a long clear for Kaz. Finally, some defense showing out a little bit. Maybe we'll start slowing down. Tragic upset with 1 touch. Going to try to get a follow. He has it. That one, he's going to get the double as well, but Kaz with no boost. Waiting patiently. Going to try to get the pass over to AdTySo when he does. And the passing play on no boost works out beautifully.
Yeah, the Minotaurs, they do have that in their arsenal, though. Kaz just waiting for it, no boost. Finding AdTySo, able to slot it in the bottom right. A great passing play. And again, a lot of people have hyped up AdTySo throughout the season. Definitely one of the best players on the Minotaurs there. Trying to lead his team. Former Chelly dropped down from last season, so a lot of eyes were on him to put that one in the back of the net there, and he's gonna find it. So now Minotaurs only down by 1 after giving up a couple quick goals. This one just a little bit off the post there. Gonna be able to clear that one away, but good answer here from the Minotaurs, and we'll see if they can find another one to their name.
That one also was just high as Tragic now trying to get the clear. Doesn't get the touch as he ran out of boost. AdTySo really not a lot of boost to work with as Tamil just challenges from the side. Now Tamil with a little time in the air. Goes off the ceiling. That touch not going to come through towards the ground, but Tragic, he's going to leave that ball. Kaz, he doesn't want to jump for it either. Postman's going to be the first one there. Now, Big Guth going to pop that one high. That's a dangerous ball. Tragic trying to race back towards it. Doesn't have the boost, so he just fakes it. AdTySo flies by. Postman with a good 50 to Mill now trying to get the follow-up. That one's going to hit the backboard. Really open shot here for Tragic, but he side flips early, and no shot coming through. AdTySo, no boost, so he wasn't able to get a touch. A great touch from Postman. Postman looking for the drop down, but a great save there from Big Guth. Coming up big on the backboard. Tragic, though, continuing this pressure. That ball going to be floating mid. Tamil up for the shot. That one's going to be bouncing down. A great save there from Kaz, and Big Guth finally able to get the clear away. Tragic doesn't have a lot of boost. Postman goes for him, but that ball's still bouncing towards the midfield. Tamil's going to collect that one towards the corner and try to get this ball clear. That ball still bouncing dangerously, though, and a double commit leads to the ball just floating in the middle of the field for the Melons, but nobody from the Minotaurs was able to capitalize on that. A good demo and maybe a counterattack, but Postman jumped early. He only has 40 boosts to work with. He can't get to that one. AdTySo up early, so Tamil's going to have a free touch. He's not going to get the touch, though, and Kaz is going to get a free clear. Minute and a half remaining here, Rockerman. Both these teams are looking for opportunities, but it feels like the execution just hasn't been there.
Yeah, just not quite. I mean, early on we saw a lot of great execution with 5 goals scored in roughly the first minute and a half or so. And now both these teams have been kind of locked down on the defensive end. There's been a couple of misses in the midfield that have made things a little bit awkward, but they're just trying to break through right now. And Melons, they're not in too big of a hurry to find one more, but the Minotaurs, they got to be the ones pressing that pace here, down by 1, only a minute remaining.
Now, can the Minotaurs actually put the ball in the back of the net? It just has to go in. It doesn't matter how. It isn't gonna look pretty. Big Guth's just gotta make a play happen. AdTySo gonna try to make one happen there, and the double commit. That's a clear out. AdTySo doesn't have the boost, and it gets saved by Tragic. Kaz gonna get a bad touch, but man, Rockerman, that was the opportunity. They might have one more chance here. Tamil's gonna have to get a touch. It gets saved away by Postman, coming up huge off the post. Kaz, he gets beat. The counterattack, Big Guth makes the save, but Rockerman, a huge chance there, wasted, it feels like, by the Minotaurs. They're still continuing this pressure, but that was the best look they've had.
Yeah, that was a great look that they had right there. Almost able to put it in, but like you mentioned, just not enough boost, and now maybe one more attack here, Flip, to try to tie things up.
Yeah, can they do it? 17 seconds. That ball's bouncing mid. Kind of awkward. Tamil going to try to get a touch. Big Guth challenge instantly. Postman gets beat out by Kaz. That ball's bouncing mid. Big Guth doesn't have the touch. That touch on Tragic, which is towards the midfield, but all the Melons players have boost. They can defend this, but a Timo on the backside. A Tragic upset. Great challenge, though, and that ball is going to hit the ground. Melons, with that early 3 goals, were able to hold on and secure game number 1.
Yeah, they were, and I'm surprised no one from the Minotaurs was playing aggressive there at the end. You know, obviously it is only game 1, maybe not trying to sell out too much, but at the end there, you're down by 1. There's nothing to lose right there to sell out and try to get that last goal. And, you know, especially like we mentioned, maybe not knowing about the tiebreakers there, knowing that they need to sweep to hold the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Melons. Just maybe not aware of that. Possibly, but you know, they didn't play bad, but you know, the Melons, obviously they played really well in that last game, and you know, just a dominating start, and they were able to hold on the rest of the way.
Yeah, I feel like maybe the Melons caught Minotaurs off guard a little bit. A lot of those goals were really quick. It was 19 seconds for the first goal. One of the other goals was directly off of kickoff from a bad touch. So it just feels like, you know, some of those goals for Melons, they might be hard to repeat, Rocker Man. Like, I'm saying this, you know, as a Melons fan, it didn't seem sustainable, and it felt like Minotaurs were starting to lock in, though. So, coming into game number 2, I want to see the Melons start hot again, but it's looking like AdTySo's going to try to do that. Big Guth, he's going to have the touch. Down to Kaz. Kaz gets bumped. 10 mil shot, not going to be good enough as that one gets cleared away as Tragic tries to get that back towards the midfield. Tragic was the man with on a mission last game towards the nets. Postman as well was playing extremely well, extremely aggressive. As now Tragic, he goes as last man, and what a great go it was. He gets the touch past the last defender, and I don't know where the other one was, but Tragic upset. He did his job and scored that open net.
Yeah, he's able to take it all the way into the back of the net, and Melon's starting out strong again. Not what you want to see here if you're the Minotaurs. I was hoping to see a little more of a bounce back from them in this game, but unfortunately, not the ideal start. Still a long way to go, though. Just gotta try to see if you can get some offenses. Oh my goodness, that one is gonna be followed in. Big Guth is gonna put it in off of the pass.
But man, what a shot from Kaz. A great save from Postman. However, Postman hit the post, and that ball just bounced straight towards Big Guth. So, little unfortunate, but a really good answer here from the Minotaurs. That's the kind of thing that we saw from the Melons. They were able to answer back pretty quickly towards the Minotaurs' goals last game, but Minotaurs keeping this one close, not letting the Melons get an early lead like they had. Tragic now, trying to control the ball. That one is just going to get 50. That ball is really awkward for Big Guth, though, as Tamil passes it over to Tragic. Tragic with a great shot. That one was top left corner, but does get saved away by AdTySo. A good bump there. Kaz is going to leave that ball. Postman, he's going to try to flick that one mid. Tamil's there. A slow shot. That one's off the backboard, and he couldn't get the double. Tragic now. Gonna get one touch, but it's gonna be AdTySo with no boost trying to follow it. Still, no boost once again for the Minotaurs. It seems like sometimes whenever they're going for these offensive plays, they just don't have any boost. To AdTySo, once again, 0 boost to work with. Gonna pick up that midfield pad. Finally, gets 100. Big Guth trying to get a touch. That one's gonna go over to Kaz, but Big Guth gets one more. That one off the corner. The shot coming in from AdTySo. It's there, but Tragic is there for the save. Now Kaz trying to continue this pressure for Minotaurs as gets a fake pass one, tries to get a double, and he does. That one pinches too high, though. Can't be shot. AdTySo, a touch out to Big Guth, and that ball gets clear. That one's going back mid. Tragic upset. Gonna have a long clear downfield. Kaz with one touch. Tamil was waiting downfield for the pass, though. Kaz, a little bit of time now. The Minotaurs, they seem to be a little bit more in control. They're taking their time on these touches, Rocker Man, and it's really Kaz that I'm seeing really try to initiate these slow, methodical plays on offense, and they seem to be working.
Yeah, I played against these guys on Monday, Flip, and Kaz was definitely the man that was initiating the offense, setting up plays, and he's trying to do that right here. The Minotaurs, they almost had one earlier. I thought for sure that was a goal, but an amazing save by the Melons to keep the score tied at 1. But yeah, Kaz has to be that initiator here on the offense, and he's trying to do so. It's off the post. Is there a follow coming through? No, it's off the post again. God. The Minotaurs, a post clinic right there. You know, oh my gosh, Flip, I think the Melons have one too many posts. You know, they got 2 posts and postman, that's 3. But they're not going to get the post this time. It's going to be Big Guth put in the back of the net.
Finally put him in between the posts this time as Postman just expected Kaz to get a touch, and Kaz with the tactical backflip I taught him that one. That one is a great fake there, and a 2-1 lead for the Minotaurs. First lead they've had all series long. We got to see the Melons try to answer back. It seems like the Minotaurs have had pressure on them for the past, I don't know, 2 minutes at this point, as that ball finally, it seems to be in the Minotaurs half for at least just a little bit, as Big Guth is able to get that ball cleared. Postman trying to take his time, but Big Guth is just not giving him any of it, as Tamil trying to get another touch pass. AdTySo doesn't get it. Postman trying to get that ball cleared, and only as far as Kaz, but that ball should be a pass down to Postman. Postman with a nice pop, tragic upset up. Same with Tamil, and a double commit there makes it to where nobody can follow up this ball, as AdTySo's going to have a free clear. That double commit, Rocker Man, that's something that you not want to see if you are the Melons. That's the kind of ball where that could have been a great counter opportunity, and it feels like a wasted chance. And so Minotaurs, this team, they're starting to ramp up, and you can't be wasting opportunities like that.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times we talk about game one as that sort of feeler game, and I think for the Minotaurs, you could definitely see them trying to feel things out here, and now they're kind of finding their groove a little bit. As here comes another pass, Kaz is coming through, gonna put it in, and they are finding each other, catching these Melons just a little bit starved.
Yeah, and this honestly could have just been. It just feels like the Minotaurs are just a little quicker. I just, they're making the decisions quicker. They're getting to the ball quicker because of that. I don't know. Maybe their boost is quicker. I don't know if you turned on any mutators for him, Rocketman. It feels like the Melons right now, they're just a little too slow to the ball.
Yeah, you know, sometimes we got to turn on a little mutators there. You know, you got to make the series a little even there. So we got to turn on the mutators. But all jokes aside, though, the Minotaurs, they are ramping up the pressure, and you can definitely see it. You know, it seemed like the Melons in game one had all that aerial pressure, had all the boost control, and now the Minotaurs have, you know, got their challenges a little bit better, a little bit quicker, like you mentioned, and, you know, it's led to a couple of good goals for them, giving them a 2-goal lead here, trying to tie the series up.
Yeah, can the Melons answer? It's 2 goals in 50 seconds, not unheard of. Just not, as common as I'd like, to be honest. But it's still going to be an opportunity here for the Melons, as they are finally, once again, in the Minotaurs half. Tragic not going to get the touch, but it's going to be a fake for Postman. Kaz has to get a save going over his own crossbars. Tamil tries to put that ball back mid, and nobody there for the Melons. A triple commit, though, from the Minotaurs, leaves an open net. Can AdTySo get there? No, Postman with the long snipe, able to put that one away, giving the Melons some hope.
Yeah, and there's just no need for that at all here by the Minotaurs here. It's 30 seconds, you're up by 2. The only way the Melons are going to get back in the game is if they score a quick goal and you go out there and triple commit. And that was could possibly be a big mistake here if the Melons can find one more in regulation. They're going to start it in the offensive end.
Yeah, and a demo as well on one of the players with boost is now the players kind of spawn on top of each other, a little awkward. Postman gets that one to the backboard. Big Guth able to get a nice touch though, but it's gonna be Tragic trying to pass that ball mid. Postman, he's gonna get a nice touch. Kaz, he's kind of awkward, doesn't get the bump from Tragic though. Tamil, his challenge, gonna go to the back corner. Tragic, pass it over to Postman. Postman trying to get back towards the ball. AdTySo doesn't have the touch. Postman can't keep it alive. Minotaurs win game number 2.
Yeah, Minotaur is gonna hold on there at the end, although they did try to strike a little fear into all of our hearts there, but the Melons couldn't quite get that one all the way across the pitch. So Minotaurs are gonna hold on, tie up the series, and like we mentioned, a lot better performance from them. Despite a couple overcommits, they had some good offense there, had some good pressure, and I think they played pretty solid their flip, and now it's up to the Melons to try to find that answer back. I mean, they played pretty aggressive, and they have some good offense. It just seems like Minotaurs, they were a little bit quicker in that last game. So I expect the Melons coming in this one to try to turn up their speed and try to get back as that leading aggressor on offense.
Yeah, and I feel like the biggest difference is that the Minotaurs, they kind of were just, I said they were speedy, and they were, but it was whenever they needed to slow the ball down or make a smart play, they were really taking advantage of those opportunities, and so I felt like the change of pace sometimes messed up the Melons as well. So I think the Minotaurs played a really solid game number 2. I think Kaz really showed out in that one, but the way the Melons need to win this series is just being absolutely stupid and just go for everything, and that's what they're going to do here. Tamil says, I don't want the ball, I want you, and Postman's going to put that one away.
Yeah, Kaz just taking it a little bit too slow on his goal line, and you talked about the ideas of taking it slow. When you're in front of your net there, that is not usually the time you want to take it slow. You want to get that ball out.
Yeah.
Obviously you want to get control, but you got to get that ball away from your net. Don't take it across. Don't hold it there. And as you can see, that is the result, unfortunately, for the Minotaurs. But good start, a great start for the Melons. They're able to put on that early pressure as the shot attempt is coming back on the other end.
Yeah, and once again, it just feels like the Melons, this is the kind of game, they want chaos. It feels like this team wants, I'm surprised we haven't seen more demos, because that was a great demo play, but like they want to just send the ball downfield, let your first man make a play, like Postman just did, make a pass, and Tragic, he's gonna let Guth drive by that one. He tries to get the pop over AdTySo as well. Could have been a beautiful play, but instead it's just gonna get cleared all the way downfield. Kaz, once again with the control touch, and now it seems like the Melons, they've got a read on it. They're on top of those. So it seems Melons have adjusted properly to the slow play that Kaz seemed to be kind of putting out a lot in game number 2. So now with a minute down, we've seen, honestly, I think a much more aggressive and I don't know. I wouldn't say like planned, but it just seems like the Melons, they know what they're doing and they know why they're challenging now, and it looks like it's paying off beautifully. A great pass from Tamil, a great shot from Tragic.
Yeah, and I think they're finding that speed as well here in this one. You see Tragic first that ball over the top of 2, and they're the ones that have ramped up the speed. We saw the Minotaurs, punch back in that game 2 with their speed, and right now, about a minute in, you can see the Melons just putting on that speed, putting on that pressure, putting on some good shot attempts here, and giving themselves the lead. As here comes Cass with the shot in the post on the backside there, gonna open up some space, and the Minotaurs, they fire right back.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, this is a bump into a pool bump. Tamil also, I believe, bumped Tragic on the back end. So really great bump there. And I will say, Minotaurs, they get those opportunities, and they're very clinical, it seems. The saves from the Melons, there haven't been that many. We've seen a couple beautiful ones, but, like, you get the epic ones. But they're just kind of hoping that the ball gets hit at them. It seems like the clinical shooting from Minotaurs is still there. Now the Melons, they're trying to play that counter game once again as Tragic try to get the shot off. It's not going to happen there. Postman gets a great 50 on his own teammate. However, as Big Guth, he's going to try to find the pass. It was a great idea from Big Guth, but the shot just could not find a connection. Kaz towards the backboard. Tragic, kind of awkward, and great finish there from Kaz. Both the Melons players crept a little too high up. Tamil's touch was just a little too far, and they get punished.
Yeah, we talked about Kaz being that guy that's got to lead the offense, and he is right there. And just no one in the Melons willing to go up for that one. I mean, it was a good shot over the top there on the first one off the backboard by Kaz, but Tragic just didn't go for that ball there when he had the opportunity to do so. And the Minotaur is gonna make him pay. And it seems like so far what we've seen in at least the last 2 games here, Flip, is the Minotaurs, when they get an opportunity here, they're usually gonna find it or put a very threatening shot on net, and they were able to do so right there. And they're trying to do so again here, but not quite that time, as we're gonna stay tied up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, and Rockman, both these games, it's been 3-2. So whoever wins this, or whoever scores the next goal wins the game, and that's just a fact. Can't deny it.
It's proven.
As Melons look to not be the ones getting scored on, as they're finally able to get this ball out of their own half, but it looks like it's going right back as Big Guth and Kaz combined to get that ball cleared. Tamil with a touch that tried to be controlled, but he couldn't get the follow. Postman's touch, not great, as AdTySo helps him out a little bit getting that clear, but it's actually a pass back to Kaz. Kaz going to the ceiling. Kaz with some boost. Kaz with a flip. Kaz with the shot. Kaz with the goal.
Oh my goodness, Kaz, go off, young lad. Goes to the ceiling, takes it low, and then pops it over the defense. My goodness, what a shot.
Kaz making a statement here. Rocker Man, the Minotaurs, they don't want to hit tab because if you're Big Guth and AdTySo, you ain't doing much. Kaz has been doing it all. As now Tamil, he's going to try to get a shot going, but it's going to be Tragic. Going to get that follow-up, but that touch from Kaz just over the defender, and he's going to get even more time on the ball. Gets a nice control touch. Looks for the control again. Looks for the placement to the top right corner. Not going to go. The follow, not going to be there, and here comes the counter from the Melons. Just Big Guth back, and Tragic shoots it so early. Big Guth's going to have the save, but Tamil trying to get the follow-up shot. Oh my goodness, AdTySo hit the crossbar, and so now it's going to be Kaz to get that clear. Postman going for the bump. Doesn't get the touch on the ball or the car. AdTySo gets that ball over to Kaz. AdTySo looking for the bump, and it doesn't need to, as Kaz is going to have another goal here. That's his 4th.
I mean, Kaz is just putting on a show right now, just finding these opportunities, banging it down the pitch there. AdTySo just gonna let that one go. He's looking for maybe a bump, but doesn't need to find one there as he's able to put that one in the back of the net. And I mean, yeah, it's the Kaz show right here in game number 3. He really wants this one, trying to bring their record to 8-8. You know, like we mentioned, they won't hold the direct tiebreaker over the Melons, but to be tied at 8-8 here, it'll give them a shot to win that division, and at least get them one step closer to the play-in. So Kaz, he's really going off right now, Flip.
Yeah, and I will say, it feels like this team of the Melons is really missing the GOAT, Gallium, to be honest. And, you know, I hate to say that. The Melons, honestly, haven't put up a good fight, and their offense is what's been great. But this defense, that's where Gallium can shine. He is a great defender, a great third man. And Big Guts, he's going to say, hey, you don't got your third man? I'll prove it to you, as he puts that one in the back of the net.
Yeah, and the pressure from the Minotaurs is just unrelenting right now. As you know, it seemed very early on, Flip. I mean, this game was 2-0. You know, a minute in, it seemed like the Melons, they found their offense, found the momentum here. But the Minotaurs are right back to those game 2 ways, just, you know, challenging these balls, putting on a lot of pressure here, and the Melons just haven't quite found a way to handle it.
It seems, I said this in game 2 as well, it was all the Kaz show. It felt like his smart touches was really winning them those midfield 50s, those midfield plays in general. And so it's continuing here as Big Guff tries to get a pass towards the midfield to Mill. Going to try to get that ball cleared, and guess who's there? It's going to be Kaz. Now he's going to try to find the pass towards the midfield. Nobody from Minotaurs is going to be there. He still gets the beat, though, and it's going to be AdTySo with the shot. That one going to go and get saved by Tragic. That great shot, though, from Big Guff gets saved away by a no boost to Mill. Tragic now trying to get the clear. Doesn't get the touch as Kaz gets one touch. Tries to get the 50 as well, and he does. Tamil and Postman double commit once again as Big Guff is able to get that ball clear. Obviously, this game is all but over as Tragic tried to get the double. Big Guff might try to put this one away. He does. Why not? Give him another one. But, man, this game by the Minotaurs, it felt like a statement here from Kaz. This was a beautiful game by him.
Yeah, no, I mean, the Minotaurs, just so much pressure, you know, on all fronts, really. It seemed like I mentioned, in the first minute or so, the Melons had the pressure, but then after that, the Minotaurs just kind of turned on and just said, hey, we can be quicker. We can be quicker than you guys. You may have had us in the first little bit there, but we're going to come back and, you know, bring it back. And they definitely did. You see Kaz, 4 goals to his name there. And, you know, demos, 7 demos on the side of Minotaurs. So, you know, not only were the shots unrelenting, Flip, but the demos, just the entire offensive pressure, completely unrelenting. And the Minotaurs, like you mentioned, statement win there in that game number 3. And now looking to take game number 4, trying to give themselves a tie for that division lead, and get them one step closer to that play-in race.
Yeah, honestly, it felt like the Melons on defense, offense too. It killed their offense a couple times. There were just double commits. And so bad comms, obviously, sometimes, you know, the chemistry just hasn't been there. Obviously, I did mention it. I don't like talking about players that aren't here, Rocker Man. But whenever it's your goat, and Gallium is my goat, you know, you got to talk about him at least a little bit because it felt like the third man was the problem. It felt like there was a couple times the net was so open that like Kaz literally hit the ball at the backboard and there was no third man in net. Hit the ball from his own goal all the way down in his own net. Melons, they're able to get these early goals, and I think it's because, you know, kickoffs and, you know, just, I wouldn't say confusion, but just like a lot of pressure, and they boost starve, and they're able to get these early leads. But once this game settles down, it feels like Minotaurs just are able to take control. Hopefully, you know, for a game 5, we're able to see a different outcome here. But so far, it's been Melons in the Minotaurs half, once again, kind of what we saw for the past couple of games. Postman, though, trying to get a nice control touch. That demo on the back and by Gut. That ball is going to be bouncing down super dangerously. No shot there from Kaz, but AdTySo is able to put it away, and the Minotaurs have the lead. And, man, this is just a great play all around for the Minotaurs.
Yeah, the Minotaurs, they have that offense there with those demos. I was really surprised they didn't bring it out in games 1 and game 2. I was going to touch on it a little bit more, considering that's what you know, our Origin squad faced when we played them on Monday, is, you know, those demos, Kaz going crazy. They didn't really bring it out in game 1 and game 2, but, you know, in game 3 right there with those demos, and now in game 4, they will go for those demos and they will put that pressure on But you know, that's also something flip that can be a big detriment. We were able to capitalize a lot of times when these guys were just going for demos, completely out of position. So for the Minotaurs, you know, it's good to get those demos, but you got to be careful here because I think the Melons can have a good opportunity to capitalize on these overcommits, on these demos. And Postman is just
My
putting on a
goodness.
big body clinic right there in the net, but unfortunately, no one quite ready to follow.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I would have been there for him either, Ruckman. That was some insane 50s by that man. But still, it amounts to more pressure, more boost starving from the Melons as well. And I saw it a couple times, mainly in game 1 and 2. Like, even though game 2 felt like kind of like a routing by Minotaurs, there were a lot of times where they just were on no boost challenging the ball. And so I feel like Minotaurs have done a better job of getting boosts. But if Melons are able to boost starve them and keep them out of their own half, it could be a great job. But Big Guth, 0 boost, he don't care. He's still beating you to the ball. And so Minotaurs now racing back. Not a lot of boost to work with. It's going to be Tamil with the shot. And that's the counter that this Melon team has been looking for. Almost all of the Minotaurs players were on no boost. And AdTySo just overcommitted just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit of an overcommit, and you know that's where the Melons were striking. You know, with pretty much all their goals, it seemed like there was a lot of overcommits by the Minotaurs that led to Melon's goals. And good on the Melons there, good on Tamil to find that one there. Bring things back up to a tied game here as they're trying to force game number 5.
Yeah, Postman trying to make a play happen. Doesn't get the follow-up touch. Tamil now. One controlled touch, gets a flick as well. Tries to get that ball pinched mid. Kaz, he's going to have a free touch there as he's able to get it all the way across. Kaz trying to get the follow-up. Doesn't have it. Leaves it for Big Guth. A great play there. Postman going to double commit with Tamil once again. And Postman now, he's on backboard though, has plenty of boost. That touch is really hard, and so Tragic going to try to get the follow. That ball does bounce favorably for Postman. He gets one touch to the corner, can't get the follow. Tamil, he's not able to get the touch, and now the counter gets started. Kaz, he's going to get it past Tragic, and Big Guth is going to get the goal secure. But it was Kaz making the beautiful play here, pretty much past all 3 of them.
Yeah, Kaz maybe waiting for that bump, and does just enough. The little hesitation right there before flicking it by the last defender was just, you know, very, very well executed. And Big Guth, he's gonna finish it off, get the little secure. You know, sometimes you need some security here, especially when you're battling for a divisional title. But yeah, Minotaurs back out in front, and the Melons once again trying to play from behind, see if they can get that offense rolling again.
And this Melons team, in my opinion, is not suited to play from behind like this. They're suited to pressure, have a comfortable lead to where you can make mistakes. But we've seen this third man positioning has been prone to pushing up too far, allowing open nets, allowing double commits, as Tragic and Postman double commit there. That ball going off the sidewall though as Tamil gets a nice touch. Kaz gets it just over. I believe that was Postman there as Tragic now. He was back for that one. Gets a nice controlled. Trying to get a pass. That one's going off the backboard. Kaz is there, though. Gets the pass over to Guth, but Tamil able to cut that one off. Tamil also able to get the double, so Tragic's going to get the beat. That's a beautiful touch from Tragic's. Postman going to try to get it back mid. Kaz has to flick it away. Tamil continuing this pressure. Not a lot of boost here on the side of Minotaurs, but that touch from Tamil. It gets 50 once again. Can Tragic put it away? Kaz is able to get the long clear, buying his team some time, allowing them to get some boost. Postman able to get the long clear back, though. Can he get the follow? Can he get the shot? That one, it's going to be a shot, but that ball just floats up high from the save. Postman trying to get a follow-up touch. Big Guth able to get the save away. Tragic, not a lot, or doesn't have the angle as Big Guth with no boost is able to get the clear. AdTySo now trying to get the pass over to Kaz. Kaz with the counter, and it's lethal from the Minotaurs.
Yeah, great counterattack here. The Melons had so many pressure, but Postman, he's trying to go off the ceiling, trying to get out to it. Can't quite get it, and that one, just too much power for Tamil to try to cover the entire net there, and Kaz is going to put it in the back there, and the Minotaurs hungry to find this win here and close it out in game 4. The Melons, they had so much pressure there, Flip. It seemed like they were only a moment away from putting one through, but instead, it's the Minotaurs, but it's Kaz. He can't put that one in. Big Guth trying to get the oh my goodness, Postman with the save, and now 50 seconds. The Melons going to need a little bit of a miracle here to try to find 2 goals to try to at least send it to OT.
OT would be a miracle at this point. Tamil trying to make a miracle happen. So is Tragic, but the shot doesn't come in from Tamil. A good 50 there from Postman. Can he get the follow? AdTySo gets the beat on him with that ball. Floating mid. Tragic upset with the shot. Tragic upset. Gonna get his shot saved by the Big Guth. As now Kaz on the counter once again. Hits that ball to the backboard. Can't get the follow. But guess who's there? It's AdTySo. That duo once again trying to make a play happen. Tamil now trying to get that ball cleared downfield. Can a shooter come through? That ball bouncing down. Postman couldn't get the follow in. Tragic upset. He didn't want to full send it. There was only 10 seconds left, Rocker Man. I feel like that was the ball to send it on. But in the end, it looks like Minotaurs are going to be the one walking away with this series. It is all over now as the ball just has to hit the ground, and Minotaurs will have claimed victory. Melons, they got their game, Rocker Man. Kaz, he's gonna get his last goal to secure it. Why not? But it was a very different showing from game ones to games 2, 3, and 4. It felt like Minotaurs, they took control of this series, Rocker Man, and they looked very dangerous. Kaz seemed very in control, and so I was really impressed by his performance. The other two as well played great, but man, it felt like this was a great showing here from Kaz.
Yeah, I mean, Kaz really just went crazy in this series overall. I mean, two more goals in this one, two goals, 2 assists, 2 saves to his name in this game number 4 to close things out. And yeah, I mean, they really just stepped it up there in this series. From game 1, it looked a little bit awkward. There were times where the Melon just got the counterattack, but after that, it just seemed like the Minotaurs, they knew what they were doing. They could get that pressure. The Melons had flashes where it looked like they could be there, but the Minotaurs just looked like the more well-rounded team in this one, able to get the victory, able to tie up the records at 8-8. Unfortunately, the Melons will still hold that tiebreaker by that head-to-head game record there, with 4-3 versus 3-4. So. Unfortunately, they're not going to be leading the division, but they will move one step closer. They were the 11th seed, heading this one just right outside that play-in race. So with an 8th win there, they got a couple teams that they're chasing down, trying to make it into those play-ins. So I mean, and if they do flip, this could definitely be a scary team for anyone, for those 1 or 2 seed, whoever those may be, to watch out for coming out of the play-ins.
Yeah, definitely could be. But either way, great game to both these teams, Rockerman. I think obviously Minotaurs put on a great performance. Like you said, there were flashes from the Melons, and I think individual flashes was what I was kind of impressed with. I felt like individually they played pretty well. It just positionally and as a team, it felt like there were some misplays. And obviously this is not the roster that they've been playing with. So once Gallium gets in there, man, he slots right in like butter. I swear he's the goat. So I have faith in the boys to pull off, maybe a 2-0 next week, try to secure their spot as the division title winner, as the division title holders. That would be beautiful. But that's enough about these two great teams and great performances. Rockman, we got to move on to some of these next games because I know that these next ones are going to be just as wild.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be an exciting close to the night. Coming up next in just a couple minutes, we are gonna stick around. We've got the Bandits taking on Vipers. I'm gonna be back in the booth for that one, Flip, and then Dissolve
Mhm.
Drakes to close things off. Some more divisional battles.
Yeah, divisional battles are coming, and it's the best time for Nemesis. It's playoff time right around the corner. Everybody is fighting for their spot to be in the playoff or the play-in. So a lot of these teams, they're right on the cusp, they're right on the edge. So all of them are gonna be battling their hearts out. So Rocker Man, we will be right back after a quick little break, and we got some great games coming up. So stick around, guys.